Hey everyone. Last month for October, I wanted to take Halloween to the next level and I dressed up every single day in October for Halloween. I did a 31 days of cosplay challenge that I made up myself. I wasn't following anyone, and I shared it through Instagram / Facebook and / Twitter, Tumblr. Everything was linked up from the Instagram, but it was specifically for Instagrams to spread out everywhere. And I wanted to talk about my experience with it and the way I did the process and how I was able to succeed. Last year, after Halloween ended, I was not satisfied with it ending, and I wanted to make sure this year that I got my complete fill for Halloween. Because if you can't tell from these lovely posters that are behind me, and you can't see even above that, I have Dracula and Edward Scissorhands. I'll do a pan shot right now so you can see my posters. I take pride in them. I love Halloween, and if you've been following this channel, you clearly know that I love Halloween. I hope you're following this channel. Hey. But you can tell that Halloween is my all-time favorite holiday, and I just love everything about it. I am a horror fanatic, but not really, because I'm really picky about certain horrors. But I'm horror fanatic, I don't know. I would say horror fangirl. Yeah, I would classify myself as a horror fangirl. And the entire aesthetic of Halloween, I feel, is myself. So I wanted to make sure that I went over and beyond to enjoy the holiday with how short-lived it was, especially this year that they were pushing Christmas when it was 2 weeks before Halloween, but that's a whole other subject. Anyways, last year I decided after Halloween ended that I wanted to dress up every single day. And this was a goal I had set for myself a year prior. So I gave myself a couple of rules just to keep things simple since I was doing this in everyday life. I wasn't going anywhere special except for Fright Fest, but I didn't have anything planned out, and this is just the way I wanted to dress in between work and days off as a normal adult. A couple of months prior, probably around summer, I started compiling a list of the possibilities of characters that I wanted to do. I wanted to keep it strictly all characters. I didn't want to do anything generic. I wanted to focus on cosplay, especially because this is something that I'm trying to branch out into more and give myself more experience with cosplay specifically. So I didn't want to do a generic cat or a generic ghost or a witch. Instead, I wanted to incorporate it and give myself a character that related to all of them. So I went through about 5 rough drafts, making lists of specific characters, trying to figure out what I had in my closet already, so I wouldn't be spending insane amounts of money trying to get these outfits going. So I took to my notebook, and the first couple of drafts I wanted to break it down by week. I thought it'd be cool to focus on specific weeks. Have a horror week, have a 90s throwback, or days. Not specific weeks, but days. I wanted to give myself a fair amount of characters to portray, so it wouldn't just be 90% Disney characters and 10% everything else. Instead, though, it seemed to be a little bit harder to do with that. I first broke it down by days. For example, I had Sundays as cartoons, Mondays would be anime type of Japan specific characters, Tuesdays was Halloween specifically, so I had that as a wild card. Wednesdays were horrors for the pure reason of the fact that I wanted to do Wednesday Addams on Wednesday, which I did. So that was a success. Just for myself, I was excited about that. Thursdays I wanted to do 90s because Throwback Thursday, because I'm basic. Fridays was television because TGIF, again, basic. And Saturdays were Disney. Saturdays I wanted to keep Disney for the pure reason that Carrie Fisher's birthday was on a Saturday and I had to dress up as Princess Leia, which I also did. And if you guys didn't watch that video, by the way, I'll put a link in the description because I made her a birthday cake. Yeah. Turned out really good too. I gave myself an estimate of characters that I wanted to portray, as well as I had my master list that I was pulling from to figure things out a little bit better. I created a cosplay master list earlier on as well, which I still want to continue to work on. That's just something that is a complete work in progress until I get everything completed. I wanted to break that down from movies to television to video games to books, every single genre possible in media. I split it apart, categorized it that sense. And this is something that I'm going to continue to keep on pulling from. So if you guys continue to follow my journey, you'll be able to see these characters come to life very soon. The next step I did was I took to my closet to see what I already had. A lot of these characters I wanted to pick were everyday characters that were from cartoons or just had one outfit that they would wear that was very basic. I wanted to make sure I kept this basic so I wouldn't be going insane because it was specifically closet cosplay I was doing. I wasn't making anything, I would not have had time to make anything, and I'm still learning how to sew. So that was something I knew that's too advanced for my skill set. But it also is a good way to show at the same time that literally anyone can do this and anyone can succeed. So there was a couple of characters that I have done previously in years past for different cosplays slash events slash cons and Halloweens. I've gone and dressed up as them, and I wanted to make sure I did include them in here because this is just a whole compilation of characters, and I didn't want to do everything fresh because I was doing this in a whole new light, and I wanted to make sure I kept it affordable. So there was a couple of characters I knew I already had done, so that made things a little bit easier for me. Once I had the estimation of characters, I broke it down by week. I wrote them down and focused on the first couple weeks and made sure that I had everything in that first week and second week, so I gave myself enough time to find other items for later in the month instead of just trying to grab everything, have it all ready, and have 31 characters I'm trying to figure out outfits for. By keeping it a little bit more simple and less to do in the beginning helped be able to stretch it out and to actually focus on what I needed to get. I gave myself a shopping list to figure out what I needed to buy, and I tried to pick characters that did wear a lot of the same items so it would be easier, as well as more affordable, as well as more fashion conscious, if you want to call it, recyclable, to do. And I actually learned that a lot of these characters did use a lot of the same items. When I realized that I wasn't going to accomplish the week by week due to the characters, I just gave myself a list of characters that you can see from this list is clearly all crossed out and scribbled upon. There was a couple of times where I couldn't get an item right away or it was delayed, so I just started switching characters around. And I just dropped the categories and just did a whole 31 cosplay and just kept it simple because that was my goal. The only rule I gave myself was the fact that I wanted to dress up every single day this month, as well as dress up as characters. So like I mentioned before, nothing generic, they had to be all specific characters, but that doesn't mean I couldn't do simple things, and that's the rule that really helped me succeed the most, in my opinion. The first and second week of characters were pretty simple. I had most of the stuff, and that's also why I put them in the beginning, because I knew that I had them prepared, while it gave me time to gather items for the other characters that I wanted to do later on in the month. That's where I did stumble across some problems. Because it was Halloween and because I was trying to look for items, it seems like people had the same exact idea that I did with just trying to find costumes. And the fact that I was still shopping for items in October didn't give me a lot of time. And I also got inspired halfway through, and I just decided I want to do certain characters that I didn't planned beforehand. A lot of times it was characters such as, like, well, I wanted to always go and do something spooky when I was going to Fright Fest, which I went a lot this year, which I was really happy about. Because I was able to go to Fright Fest a lot more than I originally planned and I didn't think things through, I ended up popping in a lot more characters that I didn't have before, as well as certain events that were happening. Like, example, Mean Girls Day was October 3rd. And I was like, that's a perfect opportunity. Let me do a Mean Girls cosplay just real fast. Friday the 13th happened. I didn't think that was a thing. And then I was like, oh wait, I need to do Jason. So things like that, certain events are happening that I didn't think ahead for. It gave me a chance to be flexible and to change characters around. So that was one element that I ended up switching a lot of characters around, as well as waiting for items or couldn't find certain items, or they were too expensive. I didn't want to spend the money on them. When it came to later on in the month, I wanted to end the month with David as Pumpkins because he is the best Halloween character currently and I adore that sketch slash character. Couldn't find a pumpkin dress for a woman, and I only had the suit, which was so simple, but I wanted to do a gender bend version of him. There are certain items that you literally do have to make yourself. And yeah, I really do want to start making outfits, and I want to be able to step up my cosplay game and be able to handcraft everything. I really love to craft, and I was able to make accessories super simple. It's just the actual sewing that I'm still learning from. The other problem that I had was the fact that I already have about 200 characters that I want to cosplay, and kept on getting inspired and being able to be created. Ended up getting inspired and wanting to do certain characters quicker than others because of the fact that I was like, oh, this will be good for this day and this will be good for this day. So it was nice that there was 31 days. It gave me a limit, and there are still half of my list that I didn't get to do this year that I want to do next year. So this thing will continue to happen and I will continue to keep on wanting to do it. I really, really had so much fun doing this challenge. I just was able to be creative. I really loved being able to play and experiment, especially with makeup. And I did basic stuff. I didn't do that much Halloween out there, but I definitely want to step that up because I had so much fun just playing around and becoming these characters and being able to transform my looks. It was just really fun for me to step out of my game and to pair things together that I wouldn't necessarily pick out but ended up loving later on because I was doing it for said characters and I love these characters. And I really have to thank Amazon and eBay for being around. It's not sponsored, clearly, but because of those two services, I was able to find a lot more of the pieces that I needed in a good amount of time. And Amazon Prime helped me out so much because a lot of times I was missing a piece or two pieces. I was like, oh, this will be easy to find, could not find it. So I was able to give myself a backup character and be able to switch things around very fast and get shipping in 2 days and really be able to continue to keep on going. And I was able to use my creativity to just jump around and to put characters together. There were certain characters I was more excited for than others, but once I put the outfits on and once I got into the character, because of how simplistic some of these characters were, I was like, okay, this shouldn't be as fun. But then I forgot how much fun it is, and I love doing every single character. And I got inspired again from these simplistic characters. I definitely know that every single character that I've done, I will revisit again in one way or another. Either I want to do some videos, sketches with them, or some music videos. In the case of Robin Sparkles, I had so much fun just singing along to Sandcastle in the Sand, and that became one of my favorite outfits. And it's such a perfect summer dress. Once this weather gets a little bit warmer again and I will have access to go to the shore, I am going to do a cover of Sandcastles in the Sand in the future because it was so much fun and I forgot how much I missed this show. And you could see as well from my Fright Fest vlogs the characters I did for them. I was having way too much fun with it. So it was a very positive experience. I'm so grateful that I was able to do it, and I definitely want to continue and make it bigger and better in years to come. So you guys can stay tuned to this. I'm not done with cosplaying. I just got started with cosplaying, and I'm going to continue to keep on putting stuff out there and making it more of a common occurrence because I love Halloween too much, and this is the reason I got into cosplay too. The fact that I grew up loving to dress up for Halloween, and then I got older and discovered a whole new realm that you can dress up all year round and go to cons and go to events and be able to just dress up, got me so excited, and it's such a passion of mine and it's a great hobby. So that will be for the future, and I look forward to continuing this trend and just having fun with this as a hobby. So that was my process that I did. I had lots of fun doing it. I learned a lot, and I found out how simplistic you can make things as well as just execute it well, and it doesn't matter if it's complex or simple. Sometimes the simple things are a lot more fun than the complex things are, and it's just being able to have fun with it. And that's one thing that I have to keep on remembering because I like to make sure I am as authentic as possible. And I just, by the end of it, I kind of was just like, you know what, this is Halloween, it's fun. It doesn't have to be perfection, it can just be fun. And this is the thing I think the cosplay community always forgets. And there's such competition now, and I'm still a new person in cosplay. I've only been doing it occasionally for 4 years. I only got into cosplay specifically in 2013, even though before I've always dressed up. So I've always been cosplaying before I was aware what cosplay was, but I didn't dive into the world of cosplay and conventions until 2013. So I'm still new, but I'm still trying to make it more of an everyday lifestyle. It's so much fun. It gave me some new ideas for fashion, and I'm just excited for the future. So overall, it was a very, very positive experience. And if you guys want to see more of the outfits, because I definitely will continue doing outfits of the day. I am looking forward to the seasons. There's going to be a lot happening. Definitely I'm going to do a lot more stuff. But if you guys want to follow, there is my Instagram. You can also see all the pictures that I did from this previous month, as well as I'm going to throw in a little slideshow at the end of this video so you can see them quickly as well. And stay tuned. I'm looking forward to everything, and I've rambled on way too long, so if you guys like this video, you should go ahead, share, subscribe, like, you know the drill. And for now, you can enjoy all my costumes.